my topic has to do with the correlation between behavioral issues in children and obscenity on television. So I got to this after I read the stimulus materials, and the one that I thought was very interesting was I Am Very Real by Kurt Vonnegut, which basically Vonnegut published a book which was called Slaughterhouse Five, and it was deemed obscene and burned in the school's furnace. And he very much disagreed with that. He thought children should be exposed to that type of content. And so that led me to my question, to what extent is the censoring of television content in regards to the effects of children's social behavior just? And basically that's saying if television does affect children, does that mean it's okay to censor it? So another stimulus material that I thought really related to it was When Libraries Are Silenced by Francine Prose, and that was basically a library patron's freedom of speech was being censored, and they thought that that was very wrong because freedom of speech is a thing, like our speech should not be censored. And for my stimulus question, I focused it on television because I felt that that was the most relevant, as in fact the average American family has 2.93 television sets per home. So pretty much everyone is exposed to television. And there is lots of obscenity on television. If you look from anything from kids material to more adult movies, it is everywhere. It isn't just for adults. Children can be accessing it too. And that is why the former Senator Ernest F. Hollings proposed the Children's Protection from Violent Programming Act of 1993. And this basically put obscene content and made it only available after the hours that children would be watching. So much later, and it also made it available to be blocked. And this is important because by the end of elementary school, the average child has watched 8,000 murders and 100,000 acts of violence. And that is a lot. So now, is there a correlation between behavioral issues and obscenity on television? So Glasgow University found that children that watch over 3 hours of television per day are 1.5% more likely to develop behavioral issues. And that seems like a lot, or a little amount of children, 1.5%, that's not a lot, but that is affecting children. So there is a correlation between television and behavioral issues. So is it this legal? Is censoring television, which seems to go against the First Amendment, is that legal? In Ginsburg versus New York in 1968, it was deemed lawful to censor obscene content to protect children. So it said in the case that obscenity is not within the area of protected speech or press. So it is not covered by the First Amendment. It is legal to censor material. However, we live in America, and Americans should be able to say what they want, and finding content inappropriate for kids to watch, that is just the price that we pay for freedom. The First Amendment actually states that Congress should make no law abridging the freedom of speech, which means that censoring material that should go against the freedom of speech, that is censoring what people say. So the limitation is that television does affect children, actually 0.195%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that is over 100,000 children being affected by this. But overall, the law of the land does trump the few amount of people that are being affected. Instead of censoring television, we should educate kids, and that should be the parents and government. They should teach them right from wrong, fantasy from reality, and overall, if it is still a problem, there's always an off button.